50v50. Probably the worst mode ever in Fortnite. Well, not V2. V2, in my mind right now, is so good. It is probably the best limited time game mode you've ever got in Fortnite. So maybe you're thinking to yourself, how? What changed between V1 and V2 that made this such an amazing game mode? Well, it has to do with this little circle right here. And while you may be thinking to yourself, how can such a little circle completely change the outcome and overall feeling of the game mode? Well, unlike the original game mode where everyone just went off with their own squads and there was no semblance of teamwork, and it ended up just boiling down to whatever team had the best squads on it. And I mean, occasionally in that game mode you get some people teaming up here and there, but it would just be stupid because it would absolutely steamroll the random squad of 4 they come across. But with this new game mode, that's no longer possible. This circle prevents anyone from just leaving their team and going off and doing whatever they want. It basically means that at some point, everyone on that team is going to have to converge on that one circle, meaning whether you like it or not, you're going to have to join your team at some point. And because the map is split into 2 different sides, both teams come at the same side, and usually all at once too. And while you can go to the small circle at the start of the match, most people don't, and tend to stick with the rest of the team as a big group, normally going to places like Tilted or Pleasant, or any other large areas with a lot of loot in them. Meaning when the storm does come, your team all moves as one big group, and all reaches the circle at the same time as the other team most likely. Meaning that a huge battle occurs where both sides clash at the same time, and with the change to an increased drop rate, you'll never have to worry about ammo that much, or even guns, as loot will be everywhere scattered across the battlefield, adding to the sense of a massive scale battle you're taking place in, which is really the point of this entire game mode, and is an absolutely excellent job at this. However, as I do love this game mode and think it is probably one of the best limited time game modes Fortnite has had so far, it does come with its fair share of pet peeves and things that it needs to fix. For example, probably one of the more obnoxious ones is people coming over and stealing your supply drops. This probably happened to me about, I think, 100% of the time. Every single time I tried to get a supply drop, someone came over, built over me, or jumped in the last second and stole it. So I think there should be an unsaid rule that if someone gets the supply drop before you, you let them have it. Another thing that they really need to fix is the fact that most people don't use communication. Like in this clip here, these people could have easily been healed by me, having free medkits, but since they didn't request any medkits, I didn't know their health and couldn't give them some. We probably could have won this game, and a lot more teams can probably win a lot more games if people on the team just communicated and revived each other or gave each other what they need, instead of sitting there on 30 health. And of course, this isn't really the developer's fault, it's more like the people playing the game. But I think it's definitely something people should work on, because a lot more people can win games with it. One thing that developers can work on, however, is the lag. And even though it didn't happen too much, it was still a real big issue when it did. Sometimes even dropping to 5 frames per second when things really got intense. Although this probably happens to me 1 out of every 6 matches, it was still definitely an issue when it did occur. Something else that players should really think about when queuing up for this game mode is that it's a squad only thing, so instead of putting on no fill, just put on fill. It really helps the team out just to have a couple more people, and it's not like in a regular game mode where there would actually be a negative effect to your team. Instead they'll probably just go do whatever, and it's just an extra person in general to help your team win. However, besides these few minute complaints, I really do think the game mode is great, and if you haven't tried it out yet, I highly recommend it. Even if you think you won't enjoy it, just hop in for 1 or 2 games and I'm sure most of you would change your mind. If they ever made a V3 of this though, I do have some great ideas that I think would improve the game type even further. For example, I think the dividing line between the 2 sides should not be able to be crossed by either team. I also think that there should be a larger circle that encompasses the smaller circle, and that no one can enter the smaller circle until the storm has hit the larger circle. This would force all players on both sides to engage each other while moving into the smaller circle at the same time, causing for a truly spectacular battle. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please feel free to leave a like, and it wouldn't hurt to subscribe either if you want to see more content like this.